Hi everyone, Arlene here. Welcome back to my Country Craft Corner. How in the world are you guys doing today? It is so good to see you again, and thank you so much for stopping back by to see what I'm up to. And what I'm up to today is my next Q&A. I have another 20 questions, and then after this, I have 15 more, you guys. I'm not gonna do all 35, obviously, in this. And I haven't been back to my last Q&A to check there in a couple of days, so I very well might have more. But if you want me to go ahead and keep doing these, feel free to ask, anything you want. There are things that I won't talk about, and I usually answer you back in the comment within the, within the video underneath your comment. I'll usually say, hey, that's something that I don't particularly care to talk about in, in person. And I mean no disrespect to you guys. It's just something that I don't feel comfortable sharing. And it's usually due to a safety issue, something that I just feel like might be taking that little step over the line for my family members or for us here at the house, So pretty much anything else though, I'll answer. So anyway, I'm going to get right on into this. I'm going to try for this one not to be an hour long, even though we are still, under quarantine. Some of us, we are here in Virginia. We are still, having to shelter in place and do all that kind of good stuff. And, so, but you know what? I'm not holding my breath, and we're going to do the best. We're going to make the best of it, you guys. I've got some stuff coming up. Just to tell you real quick, I'm going to start into some patriotic decor, one craft or one arrangement, I should say. And then I think I'm going to start into, working on some patriotic decor, infusing some patriotic into this house. So we'll see where I go. I have a haul. I have a haul from Piper Classics and from Perpetual Ribbons and from one other place, and Amazon. So I've got a haul to show you. That'll probably be next in the queue, and then maybe the arrangement, because I'm waiting on something to come from Amazon to go in my arrangement, and also to show you what Chris made me. So anyway, let's get going on these questions. Okay, the first one. This one is from Teresa Bowen or Bowen. I don't know which it is. I'm sorry if I got that wrong, Teresa, but thank you for your question. She says, hi, Arlene. I'd like to know what color your trim and ceilings are painted. I am seriously considering painting my house with the Sherwin Perfect Greige. She said Greige. It's Perfect Greige, honey. Oh, goodness. Here we go with the lights again. Sorry. I'll try not to have that happen. And also have high ceilings in the foyer and family room. Thank you for your kindness and time spent answering as many of our questions as you can. You and Chris have a blessed day. Oh, thank you so much, and it's my pleasure, honestly. I really enjoy these. I like sharing myself with you guys, and Chris doesn't mind me sharing part of him too, he draws the line in some places, of course, but that's Chris. He's kind of quiet and a little bit shy. So he did go downstairs for me. We do have the paint left over downstairs, and he did grab this off of the paint cans for the, what was the wall, sorry you guys, what was the wall color before we painted it Perfect Greige, and what is the ceiling color still in here, because we didn't touch any of the ceilings. The only ceiling we painted with the Perfect Greige was the inset, in the dining room. But it's called Moon Mist. Sorry about the lights. And it kind of had it was a buttery creamy color. It was not more gray cream, if you get it. It was more toward the yellowy cream, very like a deepy cream with an egg in it, kind of that kind of cream color, So that's the color it was. And then the trim is just white. It's called Designer White, and it was semi-gloss. The wall paint was flat, and the trim is Designer White semi-gloss from McCormick's Paints. And we have a McCormick's here in town, and all of the builders in town go to McCormick's, and they get a deal with McCormick's. And if we go to McCormick's to get more paint, we get a deal on a gallon or something. I can't remember what it is, but so that's it, Teresa. Hope that helps, and I hope that helps. I know a lot of you have asked me that question, especially about the trim, So there you go. Okay, number 2 from Wixom Fam. Hi. How are you? Thank you so much for your question. I hope I got that right. I'm thinking maybe that's your last name. I don't know. But anyway, what TV shows do you watch? What kind of music do you enjoy listening to? Love your videos. You're going to be a wonderful grandma. Valerie. Well, there we go. Valerie. I'm sorry, Valerie. You know what, you guys? I try not to read through my questions unless there's something that I know I need to get retrieved, like the paint color. But I try not to read through the questions, but except for when you ask them to me. So that kind of caught me off guard because I try not to, because I want my answers to be spontaneous for you guys. I don't want them to be scripted, you know, I want them to be spontaneous. Anyway, the TV shows that I watch, let's see. NCIS, I love that. Love Jethro Gibbs, love that show. Watched that from the very beginning, we still watch it. Let's see, I watch all of the Chicago shows, Chicago Med, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, love all of those. Grey's Anatomy, I've been a big fan of Grey's Anatomy through the years. I watch Deadliest Catch, love that, love the Deadliest Catch, which is about, you know, Bering Sea crab fishermen, you know, me and my Alaska stuff. So I like that. I like the Yukon Vet, actually, and I like the, there's a new one out about the Alaskan Rescue or something like that. And I've been to the rescue center right there outside of Anchorage where that show or part of that show is taped. So I'm very familiar with that. So let's see, what else? That's about it. Every now and again we'll watch a movie, you know, whatever. I like action adventure movies more than I'm not a big one. I don't like movies with animals that get killed or that might potentially get hurt or something like that. I just can't watch them, you guys. I just can't. It's terrible. So music, I listen to all kinds of music. I'm a country music fan. I really like country music. I like pop. I don't care for rap. I like gospel. I don't like really hard rock, but I like classic rock, you know? So I like all kinds of music. I love to hear music being played. You know, I'm not a big opera fan necessarily, but I love to hear like an orchestra play. I love that. I like pop. I like Dixieland, you know? I like all kinds of music. I'm a real music lover. You know, I wouldn't say I was really good about saying who played what, when, where, you know, but I really like to listen to it. I enjoy singing along, you know, with the radio and stuff. So that's it, Valerie. Hope that answered your questions, honey. And thank you for asking. Okay, number 3. This is from Betty, the Cookie Lady. Cookie Lady is her YouTube name, but it's Betty because I looked ahead. Actually, I know Betty. I know that Betty is the Cookie Lady. She says, happy Thursday. She wrote this on a Thursday, Arlene. Good to see you well and safe. I laughed myself silly over your dog eating the Easter eggs. Thanks very much for that. You've mentioned drinking tea a few times. Are you a coffee drinker as well? What is your favorite beverage and snack food? Blessings, Betty. Blessings right back to you, Betty, and thank you for the questions. No, I'm not a coffee drinker. Hars, I know it's terrible. I'm sorry. I don't drink coffee. I never have liked coffee. I've never acquired a taste for it. My mom was a coffee drinker. She used to drink black coffee, but my dad and I, neither one of us are coffee drinkers. Chris, on the other hand, drinks about 2 pots a day. Not even kidding. He loves his coffee, and he likes it like sludge. He likes it black, and he likes it strong as could be. Now, when we're on the ships, when we're doing our cruises, he does get specialty coffee. Sometimes I don't know what he has put in it, vanilla latte, blah, 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 something, I don't know. But no, I'm not a coffee drinker. I'm sorry, you guys. Don't hate me for that. Never been. Also, when I was pregnant too, I never was a coffee drinker up until the time I was pregnant. But when I got pregnant, that's kind of how I knew I was pregnant. We used to have a Safeway grocery store beside us, and they used to grind their own coffee, you know. And I used to walk in there and go, oh, what is that? Oh, my land. And I had to turn around and go back out. It made me, I never got sick. I never threw up, you know, in my pregnancies with morning sickness or anything, but smells got to me, and that was one of them. So I cannot drink coffee. And when Chris gets his coffee pots going, I'm like, okay, Chris is making coffee, you know, and you know, it's all about compromise in marriage, you know. I'm not a coffee drinker, sorry. Okay, my snack food, favorite snack food. What's not my favorite snack food? Oh my goodness, let's see. I love my little peppermint patties. You know, I buy the little snack size peppermint patties. I have 2 of those every evening after dinner usually. I'm a sweet tooth. I have a sweet tooth beyond, give me a cheesecake instead of, you know, a dinner and I'd be good. Honest to goodness, it's terrible. That's my Achilles heel. Sweets are my Achilles heel. But so snack food would be a sweet for me. Although I do love nachos. That's kind of snacky. I love those. I like any kind of potato chip, barbecued potato chips, or like the grandma chips. I love those. Terrible for me, and I don't eat a lot of them. Trust me. But that's about it, I guess, really. I'm not a real snack eater. I try not to eat a lot of snacks, to be honest with you. I've not been doing very well while we're in our little quarantine here. But I'm trying, you know. So, alrighty. So that'll do that, Ben Betty. Okay, number 4, Miss Julie Monroe. She said, thank you so much for sharing my Instagram. Of course, of course, of course. I think you're so talented, Julie. That was kind of you. I love Cafe Island, and she's laughing because, you know, I'm talking about where we eat our lunch every day at our kitchen island at Cafe Island. Loved hearing about you and Chris's story. So now I would love to know what the most romantic thing Chris has ever done for you. I love these question sessions. Can't wait to see what breed you select as far as dogs are concerned. I love a lot of breeds. I really think Chinese cresteds are just perfect for me. They're cute. They are cute. I love the companionship and their sweet nature. Looking great today, my friend. Love you to pieces. Love you too, Miss Julie. Love you too. Sorry about the light there. The most romantic thing that Chris has ever done for me. He's done a lot of little things through the years, like cooked me dinner. He's a great cook, you guys. Oh my goodness. And made it very special and like cooked it just the way I like it. So that's one thing. You know, I wouldn't say that it's been, you know, he kind of surprised me with a cruise one time to Alaska. Kind of, you know, that wasn't really romantic, I guess. He bought me a dozen roses while we were on one of the ships one time for our 25th anniversary. And so that was pretty romantic. And we had a nice romantic dinner, you know, at their specialty restaurant. So that was kind of romantic. But I'm gonna morph over to it's the little things, Julie. It's the things that he does for, I'm not gonna cry, dadgummit. But it's the little things he does for me every single day. Not just the big romantic things. But, you know, we'll be married 38 years here in May. And, you know, for instance, every morning I come out and get my cup of tea. And he has my little tea Keurig cup set there. And I put Splenda in my tea, a Splenda package. And I'll have the Splenda package sitting there. And they have all kinds of different sayings on their Splenda. Like, you know, have a great day, or you know, smile, it makes your face look pretty, or whatever. You know, it has all these little sayings, and sometimes he'll set them out and make a sentence out of them, you know. Things like that, you know, just the little special things that he does because he knows me so well. And so I think it's that more than any big romantic kind of a thing. I think it's the little things, the everyday things. And everyday things every day. You know what I mean? So I hope that answered your question, Julie. And thank you for asking, honey. Okay, number 5, Betty White. Hey, Betty. Thanks for your question. Good morning from Washington State. Never having been on a cruise, I am wondering what you mean when you say that you are a cruise administrator. Enjoyed your recent travel videos. Thank you. Thank you so much, Betty. And it has nothing to do with me personally on a cruise ship. What I mean when I say that I am an administrator, I mean that I am an administrator in Facebook groups on Facebook. Alaskan Cruises on Princess is one. Another one is Princess Cruises Adventures. I do not work for Princess Cruises. I do not have any affiliation with them at all, but I am one of 2 administrators and 3 moderators in the Alaskan Cruises on Princess group, which is over 12,000 people in that group now, you know. So Of course, I almost have 29 on my YouTube channel all by myself. Woohoo! 29,000. But that's what I mean. I just administer that, which means that I police it. You know, I just make sure that nobody's being rude or hateful or asking inappropriate questions or saying inappropriate things or sharing inappropriate anythings, you know. And we have really stringent rules in there, and we don't let people speak nasty. We don't let them, you know, ask certain questions in the cruising world. Those of you who cruise will know that talking about what to wear on formal night is a big hot topic, and we have like 5 hot topics that we don't allow to be spoken about in our group. Honestly, that's one of them. So that's just what that is, Betty. Thank you for the question. Okay, number 6 from Rosalie Juanes, maybe? I know I butchered that. I'm so sorry. Okay. She said, you have such a lovely home. Where did you purchase your iron wall decor? Thank you so much, Rosalie. I purchased most of it from Hobby Lobby. Every other week, for those of you who don't know, whenever we can get back into Hobby Lobby. For those of you who don't know, every other week their metal goes on sale. I don't think there's one piece of metal in this house that I purchased for full price, honestly. I wait till it goes on sale when I go and get it, and when it goes on sale. Most of the pieces are from Hobby Lobby. I have some from Kirkland's as well, because their stuff goes on sale too. So I do have some from Kirkland's, and then the adjustable wreath hangers that I have over all my doors, they came from Grandin Road, but you could always find a link for them at Grandin Road and on Amazon in the description of every video for my over-the-door adjustable wreath hangers. So yeah, that's it. Hobby Lobby mostly, because I can get them there on sale. So that's it, Rosalie. Thank you for that question. I am a little dry here. A little drink. Hang on. My tea. Okay. Number 7 from Sandy McCoyne. Hi, love all your videos. Just wondering if you have been to the Smoky Mountains here in Tennessee. I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and live 2 hours away. We love Dollywood and Proven Forge, so you need to visit if you haven't. Lots of fun, nice cabins and hotels. Sounds good, sounds good. I have been to the Great Smoky Mountains. I have a friend who used to live in Knoxville, and we went to visit her in Knoxville, and she took us for a ride into the Smoky Mountains. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I've never been to Dollywood or to Proven Forge, like you say there, but maybe Pigeon Forge, maybe that's what she means. Maybe Pigeon Forge. I haven't been to either. But it's beautiful. What a beautiful state Tennessee is. And what a beautiful, beautiful mountains. The Smoky Mountains are absolutely gorgeous. I love them. So thank you for that question, Sandy. Okay, I've never been to Chattanooga either. Never been to Chattanooga, but I love that name, Chattanooga. Okay, number 8, Lily Tommins, with a Z at the end. I would love to know how many spools of ribbon to buy with each color you do, or if it is the same ribbon for the funky bow. How many spools should I buy? I don't want to run out in the middle of my project. You are so wonderful, and you can tell I'm a beginner. God bless you. Lily, I think I answered one very similar to this the last time, didn't I? And it's hard to answer. This is a hard one to answer, Lily. You get more bows out of one spool of ribbon for a funky bow, because you usually use 2 or 3 different ribbons for a funky bow, you know, so 3 coordinating ribbons. So I would only need 3 or 4 strips of, say, 21 inches, 22 inches out of each spool, you know, to make a 9-loop funky bow, for instance. What I said in answering that question is that if I like a bolt of ribbon, I'll usually buy at least 2, just because I know that if it's going to be highlighted in my decor for a certain season or a certain holiday, that I'll make multiple bows and different kinds of bows out of that ribbon, you know. So also you can make a funky bow with the same ribbon. So it just depends on what you're making, and you know, I just can't give you a good answer. I just don't know. If I like a ribbon, I buy more than one spool though, if it's 10 yards, or, I'll buy 50 yards of the buffalo check sometimes from like Amazon, or I bought some other plaids from Amazon that are 50 yards because I know that I'll use it throughout the year in different vignettes, I hope that answered your question. That's a hard one for me to answer because I've never really measured and paid attention that much. I just kind of use what I have. I've been collecting ribbon for years and years, and I have a lot of ribbon and use a lot of ribbon that I've used through the years. So anyway, and then you said, God bless you, and I'm going to say God bless you too, Lily. And I hope that answered your question a little bit. Okay, number 9. This one is from Mary Casada. My question is, just how excited are you and your hubby for your first grandchild? So happy for all of you. Well, I'm about ready to bust my buttons. I'm so excited. I am telling you, I am very, 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 very excited about little Mr. Maverick James coming into the world. I couldn't be more excited, honest to goodness. And, of course, I'm a bit worried about Candace and, his birth and her getting through that, and then me getting to her if all of this stuff is still into place, meaning there's a lockdown of our states. Hopefully, she's due at the end of June, so hopefully that will, I'll be lifted by then and I'll be able to go to her and help. And Chris and I will both be able to get over there and help them when needed. So, but I can't wait to meet him. I can't wait to meet him. I just pray that Candace has all right, does okay through his birth, and all was well with that, But I'm really excited. Couldn't be more. Okay, Miss Mary, that's it. Thank you for that question. Sorry about the light. Dadgummit. Sorry about that. Okay, this is number 10, but it's from 2 of you, and you both ask a similar question. So I'm going to talk about Mrs. Texas Squirrel and Esther Langell, and I'll read you both their questions so that you guys can see that they're similar questions. She said, my question is, she told me about what her kids call her kids called her mom Bum, which is, it still calls her that. That's cute. And my question is, did you keep your red decor? I wondered if you kept your red everyday decor just in case you want to switch back. My house is full of red, so it is my favorite, but I really do love the blue in your house. So that was Mrs. Texas Squirrel. And this is from Esther. This is Esther's questions. Hi, I was wondering if you think you will ever go back to the way you decorated when you first started your YouTube channel. The blue and white is nice, but I love the way you used to decorate in the back part of your house, which was in red. Thanks, take care, you're a nice lady. Well, thank you, Esther. And thank you, Mrs. Texas Squirrel, for your questions. Yes, I kept all that red decor. I have it. It's my primitive country decor. I believe that's what you're all talking about. Both of you are talking about. I do have it, and I did keep it and have had it for years and years. And sometimes we'll, bring it back for, for a season or whatever. The reason I went with the blue and white is because I wanted to challenge myself. And I also wanted a nice, soft, everyday decor that didn't pigeonhole me into primitive country, for instance, or into farmhouse, for instance, or into shabby chic. This cottage decor to me is a nice neutral decor where I'll be able to infuse different elements of different other decor genres. I am not an educated decorator, as I've told you guys millions of times. I don't ever claim to be. So what I do is just what I like, But yes, I feel sure that you'll probably see elements of that primitive country come back out sometime in the future. I don't know when. I don't have a plan for it for the rest of this year, but you never know. You never know when I'll change my mind and bring something back, So thank you both for that question. That's number 10. Thank you both. Okay, number 11 is from Edith Vlogs. Thank you for your question, Edith. Love your videos. You are a very talented lady. You make the most beautiful bows. Well, thank you. My question is, where do you get your energy? Oh, you and your husband are a match made in heaven, which you wish you both the best and stay healthy. Thanks. XOXOXO. I don't know. I've just never been a real idle person. I like to, you know, I'm not necessarily really go, go, go physically all the time, but my mind is always going. It's always going doing something. Chris is always doing something physically. He's mowing the grass. He's planting flowers. He's walking around pulling weeds. He's trimming his bushes. And I don't know what all he does, to be honest with you. I really don't. You know, I love decorating. That's my passion, as I've said 5,000 times, you know, and when I have a project to do, then I will be busily about doing that. But I spend a lot of my time online. I spend a lot of my time reading your comments, doing my administrative duties in the cruising groups, taking care of my Facebook page, my new Facebook page, that kind of thing. I'm never idle. My mind is never idle. And I don't know why I'm like that. That's just the way I'm wired, I guess. I'm just never idle, never idle. I do make myself finally put my computer down and watch TV. That's when I relax, is when I finally close the lid of my computer and just sit back and watch TV. But I don't know why I'm like that or how I do that. It's just the way I've always been. So thank you for the question. Oops, sorry. Thank you for the question. I'm gonna have to find someplace else to sit next time, obviously. Okay, number 12. Hi, Erlyn. It is interesting to learn about your life through the years and interests. My question is, what kinds of things were you interested in as a teen, such as hobbies, clubs, and school, and did you babysit or volunteer? Thank you, Diane Lewis. There we go. There's another one. Vacker 1 is her YouTube name, and it's Diane Lewis. Well, Diane, let's see. What kinds of things were you interested in as a teen? I was on the tennis team when I was in high school. I really liked that. I loved to swim. Am a very good swimmer, I guess, still. Hobby-wise, I didn't have a lot of hobbies. I guess I rode my bike a lot. And then I started working clubs in school. I was on the yearbook. I was the editor of the yearbook, actually. Did that, and I was in chorus. I love that, and did a solo in my senior year to the Elijah. Did our spring cantata. Did that, and let me think. Did I babysit? I did babysit when I was younger. When I got into high school, I was pretty busy, you know, and I worked when I was in high school. Last couple of years of high school, I worked at a steakhouse. And then when I was in college, I was going to college and working out at a 7-Eleven. So I didn't volunteer when I was younger. I did after I was married, you know, in the kids' school and stuff, but not before I was married. So I guess that's it. I didn't have, I did crocheting. My grandmother taught me how to crochet, so I did used to crochet a good bit. Don't do that anymore. I'm not patient enough now. For those of you who knit and crochet and quilt, go for it, ladies and gents. I am just not patient enough, you guys. I like to be able to do a craft in a day, you know? I'm just not patient. I need to work on that. I need to put my patience hat on and work on that. And anyway, there we go. Diane, I hope that answered your question. I was very shy and very kind of backward when I was in school, you guys. I wasn't, it took a lot for me to do that solo. It took a lot for me to have enough confidence in myself, enough self-confidence to do that. That was not easy. I had to dig deep to do that, you guys. So, okay. Number 13, Karen McDougall. My newfie, oh, you have a newfie, yay, is pretty rough on my hardwood floors. Yeah, my floors are dark like yours. They are distressed to start with, and Maxwell, great name for a noof, is scratching them up some more. Tips? Not a one, honey. I'm sorry to say, I don't have one tip. We have some scratches on our floor over here. It was mostly from Sophie, our big black noof. She was a very smart girl, but she wasn't smart enough to know she had to have one of her paws on a rug so she could get up. So when she would go to get up, she would scratch the floor. So I've got scratches over on my kitchen floor that are pretty bad. That I've asked Chris to see if he can maybe smooth out a little bit, but he hasn't tried it yet. So maybe if he does, I'll let you know. But no, I have scratches on the floor left from the noofs. Absolutely. You know, and I just figure, well, it just gives the house character, you know. Not really, I'd rather not have the scratches, but they're there. And I love the dogs more than I cared about the floor, you know, so much. So it was a trade-off, you know. So unfortunately, I don't have one tip for you, Karen. I'm sorry. But love on that newfie for me, would you? Oh my goodness, give him a big old fat hug and a kiss right on his schnoz for me. Okay, number 14, Angela Brockman. Of all of your home tours, do you have a favorite and why that particular one? Which is Chris's favorite? I don't know, Chris. What is your favorite home tour that I do? Christmas. He's over there doing a crossword puzzle at Cafe Island. I would say Christmas is my favorite too. It's I don't know, I tell you, I really like this blue and white. I have to say, I'm loving this blue and white. But Christmas is my all-time favorite, just because of the reason for the season, for one thing, and it's my favorite time for which to decorate. Christmas, most definitely. Also, too, I'd love to do a blue and white Christmas. I was talking to Stacy about this, but Chris would probably, you know, kick me out if I tried to do that. You know, but I think it would really be really pretty just to do like a blue and white and silver with silver accents. Wouldn't that be pretty? I probably won't because I've got so much Christmas decor, so that's probably not going to happen. But I love my Christmas. Yeah, I like fall too. Like that too. Oh, I love decorating. P.S. I meant to tell you that I loved all of your pet photos, and especially the group ones where they looked like they were posed. What sweet photos. They were posed. We started posing them when they were puppies, you guys. We were strict with our dogs like we were with our kids, you know. We didn't like them to, you know, run amok and do what they shouldn't, and they were well behaved and well trained. Pretty much well trained. Sophie, the same one that scratched the floor, we tried to train her so many times not to rush the front door. I did everything but, you know, have somebody stand and hold her back while I tried to, she was hard to train. Not hard to train, but she just was too excited. She just had to come and greet everybody, you know. Sam just lifted his head and looked like, huh? Oh, look, somebody's here. Woo, I'm excited. You go back to sleep, you know. So Sophie was different. They were totally different, you know. But they were posed, and Nilla's were their favorite treat. Little Nilla wafers, you know. They knew when I put my hand in a Nilla bag, man, they went and they lined themselves up or were easily lined up like that. So, okay, number 15, Miss Tammy Marie. Hey, Tammy. Hi to Mom and Grandma, too. Hi to everybody in Tammy's family. Hey, Sugar. So fun to have a Q&A again. Just love all the pictures of your fur babies. I'm sure you have a ton more questions for your next one, but here's another one if you can fit it in. Have you ever thought of designing your own line of ribbon? Tammy, oh my goodness. You would be so good at that with your great eye and sense of color and patterns. You could call it Arlene's Country Craft Ribbon. Well, sweetie, I've never thought of that. Never once have I thought about that. I wouldn't know where to start. Although I probably could come up with some pretty good, you know, pretty good ones, but no, I've never thought about that. That's a thought though. I wouldn't know. Again, somebody asked me if I could publish a book on my, you know, my recipes or my, you know, a coffee table book, and I wouldn't know where to start, y'all. I would not know where to start, but they're good ideas. I don't know how to bring them to fruition though, you know. Okay, thank you for that, Miss Tammy. Number 16, Jennifer Cruz Creations. Hey, Jennifer. Hi, I was wondering how your parents came up with your name. Is it a family name? I always get so excited when I see you've posted a video. They just make my days. Hugs, Jennifer. Well, hugs right back, honey. Well, I've heard many stories about this. My mom's story was that her brother dated a girl named Ira Lynn, and she liked the Lynn, but she didn't like the Ira. So she replaced it with A.R. Lynn, or Lynn. My dad just says that he didn't like anything Mom picked, and they came up with Arlene. So I don't think that his story is maybe the correct story. I think Mom's story is the correct story, but I don't know. But they just made it up, you know. Apparently, Arlene. They liked it. They liked the lid, but they didn't like the lid by itself. They wanted something else with the lid. I was almost a net. My mom said she almost named me a net. So I don't know that I could be in Annette, although I like the name. I think Annette is a pretty name, but and Allison, Annette and Allison. That's the two ones she said. But thank you for that question, Jennifer. Number 17, Netta Nolia. Hi, Arlene. Thank you so much for this Q&A video. I love to hear how you and Chris met. If you don't mind, can you please share some of your pictures together before you get married? I'll have to ask for his permission, and if he's given me permission to share a couple, I will put them here. And can you please share some of your wedding pictures as well? Again, I will need to get his permission. He doesn't usually like me to do that. I had one up of, us walking back down the aisle, but I normally don't share those, to be honest with you, but if he says it's okay, I can share a couple. If it's not too much, also family pictures with your girls when they were little. Now that I can share with you for sure. I'll put some, whatever I can put up, you've been seeing posted while I've been reading the question. So there you go. I watched your Christmas video when they were kids. They're so adorable. Thank you so much. God bless. Well, God bless you too, honey. And they were adorable as they're still adorable. But they sure were when they were little girls. They were just precious. Just precious, precious, precious. Okay, patty cake, number 18, question. How hard or easy was it for Mr. Chris to include the new area to the rest of the yard, and how long did it take to get it to look like it was always a part of the backyard? Well, let me explain. The backyard has been fenced in since the day after we moved in, the whole backyard as you see it now, as I show it now. We asked the fence people to put that middle fence down the center of the yard to break up the backyard and they're both the backyard, but the yard that was closer to the house and the yard that was, on down toward the woods. Because when we first moved in here, Chris was still working. He was retired now, but he was still working and he traveled a lot. And I had asked him to maybe if we could do that because we wanted to keep the dogs closer to the house when he traveled, especially because I'm not as fast and mobile as he is. And not to mention the fact is I didn't want the dogs to go after a deer or something that may jump over the fence. We had a bear go through there last summer, as a matter of fact. Jump the fence, go right through the backyard, way backyard, and jump the fence on the other side and go up through the neighbor's yard. So we do have bears and coyotes and a lot of, critters around here. So all Chris did, now that Sam is no longer with us, we both decided that we wanted to open up the backyard again. So all he did was take that center fence down. And it took him about 3 hours. And he's a hawk, and he got it all taken care of, and now he's filled in where the posts were. He's filled that all in with dirt, and it doesn't even look like it was ever there. So that's Chris for you. That's what he does. That's the kind of stuff he does. He does amazing, amazing things. He can fix anything. He can make anything. I mean, it doesn't look like that fence was ever there, does it? It never looks like it was ever there. So, and as far as the grass is concerned, he's like a magic Mr. Green Thumb. His grass always looks beautiful and green and lush and gorgeous, and it does now. So, I hope that answered your question, Patty. Okay, and thank you for asking. That's a good question. Number 19, Donna Bowen. I would like to know how you're handling any snack attacks during this time. I know you've been on a weight loss journey and was wondering if you had any helpful hints on handling those snack attacks. Well, I just put up a video. The last one before this one is, no, I'm fibbing, 2 videos ago. When I hold this sweater, and I was saying about how I've been struggling. If I'm honest, I've been struggling, trying to stay on my weight loss journey. And I had said on there, and I'll say here, I had lost like 94-ish pounds before we left for our cruises. And then we went on our 2 cruises, and then 2 cruises in Australia and New Zealand, and then, came back to LA, and then we went on one more cruise from LA over to Fort Lauderdale during the COVID-19, when all the COVID-19 stuff was ramping up. And I'll be honest, I ate my way through that cruise. I was a nervous wreck. I make no excuses for putting any weight back on, because I was the one that put the fork to the mouth, and I know what it does to me, you know, and I am a stress eater, and that's not an excuse. That's just a fact. So I'm not handling them well right now, to be honest with you. I have been better in the last several days. I would say almost a week now. I've been trying to do better, even though I will have an extra little cookie or an extra snack now and again. Try not to too much. I'm trying to, at the very least, maintain until we get back to some kind of sense of normalcy here, and we can get right back on our schedule the way we were, you know. So I'll be honest, I'm a human being. I'm struggling right now, really and truly, to get through this time. This is a difficult time for me to do this. So somebody had commented on my video where I had mentioned when I did this haul, and I was talking about this, and she had mentioned, she said, yep, I've gained the quarantine 15. You know how they say the, you know, freshman 15? She said, I've gained the quarantine 15. And it's hard, you know. So for those of you out there who are also struggling, I'm right there with you. You know, we're rowing that boat together. It is difficult. It is difficult right now. And we just need to keep our chins up and just know that this too shall pass, and we'll be able to get back to, you know, our normal way of eating and our normal way of living, you know, hopefully. So, okay, number 20 from Linda Bullock. Thank you, Linda, for your question. I love the video as always, Arlene, and I'm really enjoying seeing all of the lovely things people have been posting on your Facebook page. You certainly have inspired many people with your crafting. My question to you is, how are you managing to keep up with all of the extra work this entails, commenting on all these posts, and still putting up videos on YouTube? I really do appreciate all that you do for us on both platforms. Love you bunches, and take care always. Oh, that's very sweet of you, Linda. Well, some days I'm better at doing that than others. It is, and I knew it would be difficult. That's why I've hesitated through the years not to put my Country Craft, you know, make a Facebook page for my Country Craft Corner. Because I knew that would take a lot of my time and energy, along with YouTube and along with my administrating duties, which I do a lot of. One of the things that changed is we took down a couple of the cruising groups that was really taking a lot of my time. So I didn't have that to worry about anymore. And then I talked to my buddy Scott Singer. Y'all know Scott, you know, and I talked to him and I said, you know, what do you think? How do you think it would be accepted if I, you know, combined my Arlene's Travels Facebook group, which I've had for a couple years now, and my Arlene's Country Craft Corner group? A lot of my travel group people, though, were subscribers of my Country Craft Corner as well. Some of them, though, did not even know this side of me existed. So I didn't know how it would be received, and it's been received very well. I have not gotten one complaint about having all of those, you know, almost for a while they're wanted to say, let's try not to inundate this group with, you know, pictures upon pictures upon pictures of things. But every picture that's gone up has been very well received. I love having you guys. I may not be able to respond back to all of you all the time, and I know I don't, and I know I can't, and please don't take offense. It's everything I can do in a day, you guys, you know. And but I try to heart everything, and I try to acknowledge that it's in the group. I have to accept everything that comes into the group. So know that I've seen it. Once you see it on the discussion feed, know that I've seen it. Even if I don't get back to, you know, click a heart right away or give a quick comment, know that I've seen it, because I approve everything that goes in there. I approve every person, and I approve everything. So it's difficult, though. I will admit that it's difficult. But the reason I went ahead and did it was because I wanted to give you guys another way to talk to one another. Because all of you are, so many of you are like-minded, you know, And I wanted to give you guys a way to, and I wanted to give you a way to show me what you've done. And you have done that. You've shown me your beautiful creations and your rooms and your lanterns and your, your wreaths and your holiday decor and all of that stuff. And I'm enjoying seeing and I love it. And you're inspiring people by your posts, you guys. You're inspiring one another, you're inspiring me, and you're inspiring others who might not have ever had an idea like you have had. So for those reasons, I love having the Facebook group along with the YouTube group because it gives you guys a place to interact. And I think that's really important. And it gives me a place to see all the stuff that you've done, but hopefully I can continue to keep up with it. I don't know. It's difficult though. I'm not going to fib. It's a lot. It's a lot. That group went from having about 500 people in it to having 1,500 people in it now. Yeah, so it's pretty crazy, but it's okay. I love it. So I hope that answered your question, Linda. And that brings us to 20 questions, you guys. And as I said, I still have 15 more here. And so ask away if you want me to continue to do these. I'd be glad to do them. I enjoy doing them. And they're usually not hard to edit either because, I try not to make too many mistakes, but, I kind of ramble on. So anyway, and I went 15 minutes. I'm hoping I'll be able to cut a little bit of that off, but that seems to be about what I take here, doesn't it? But anyway, that's it for this one. So again, let me say that, I hope you guys are faring okay through this very difficult time, and know that, this too shall end. We will get through this, you guys. We will. As difficult as it is to take it day in and day out and day in and day out. Keep yourself safe. Keep those around you safe. And let me just go into my final words and say that for those of you who may be struggling or suffering with a catastrophic illness or chronic pain, I hope that you have someone there with you, taking care of you, helping you get through each day, making the very, very best out of each day. I hope there's nothing weighing on your minds or your hearts, pulling your attention away from where you want it to be or from where it should be. I love y'all to bits, hugs all around, and I keep you in my thoughts and my prayers every single day. And with all that said, I'll just say, until next time, y'all take good care. Bye-bye.